and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. And if you've just joined us, if you're a new viewer, this show is all about inspiring you to be happy. So if you're feeling a bit down in the dumps about anything, I'm sure that by the end of this program, you're going to feel a lot more positive. So let's tell you what's on the show for today. Now, are you stuck in a constant battle of the bulge? I've been there and I know what that's like. And you're not sure if you're on the right track? Well, today our lovely fitness expert Jane Wrafter is going to be joining us to help explain cardio and weight training and the difference between the two. And we'll also be finding out in our street chats who inspires you. We also have Coach Chris Browne, who'll be helping us answer the question, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And I'll be answering a question from a viewer. And a very, very special treat today in the studio. We have Emily Estelle, a classical crossover artist, and she's going to be performing Un Giorno Per Noi. Did I say it right, Ian?
Lovely.
Un Giorno Per Noi.
Fantastic.
And we have our news. We have news with Ian and Helena over here.
We'll try and get some news in today.
We will.
Yes, we should try, shouldn't we? Or we'll just rename this section completely, shall we? All right, so what's been going on?
Well, we're going to start about Anne Kirkbride, known as Deirdre Barlow. Unfortunately, no longer with us. She's passed away due to cancer, which is so sad. But she gave us years and years of entertainment, lots of laughter.
Didn't she? Yeah. I'm not that I ever watched really Coronation Street. I wasn't really a
Do you know, she was 60 and she gave over 40 years to Coronation Street. Can you imagine? I feel sad because, you know, 40 years of working, because it's long hours.
Yeah.
And now no longer. And I feel sad. I hope she had a bit of fun.
Oh, she must have done. I don't think anyone would stay in a job that long for.
The unfortunate part is that apparently she suffered from quite severe depression.
Did she?
Yeah, and she had sort of periods in her life that, you know, so I think it goes to show at times, you know, that the problem is, from what I understood, she was a very private person off screen. And when you do a soap for so long, the whole world thinks they own you. You know,
she loved it. I mean, the whole cast said she was just the funnest, best person to have around. Made everyone laugh. I think it's sad as well because the National TV Awards are sort of going ahead, and it sort of happened just prior, which is a big shame. But one of the classic moments that everyone remembers in 1981 is when she married Ken Barlow, and actually more people watched their marriage, over 24 million people watched their marriage, as opposed to Princess Diana and Prince Charles on ITV. Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Isn't that amazing? It's just amazing. That's the draw.
So they like to watch normal everyday people rather than royalty.
Mad. Okay. Oh. So, Duchess of Cambridge, as always, we talk about. She's opened.
What did we last see?
What did we last see?
Did you see the baby bump?
The bump is now being.
The
bump is now being shown.
Well, she had.
I will now get peace.
Yeah.
Well, just in case our viewers haven't seen this whole debate, because they've both been trying to spot pictures with the baby bump because they're really upset that they haven't seen this baby bump, and they've finally seen it now, so they're very happy.
She's been wearing this Seraphine baby blue coat, which is obviously sold out, as it does. Which is really emphasising the bump now. I have to say, I don't really like the coat. I think like the baby bump.
No, I thought she was going to say, after all that, I don't like the baby bump.
No, I love the baby bump, just don't like that Seraphine blue coat. I don't think, because she's so tall, I think she needs something a bit longer and a bit more elegant.
Okay.
But anyway, she was opening a new Kensington and Chelsea leisure complex. And she sort of said that the new baby is kicking more than Prince George.
Oh, so it's
and she did promise, she did promise that she doesn't know the sex, but I'm not sure we believe her. I'm not sure we believe her.
No.
But also, she was given a free family year pass. I mean, how many families would really die for one of those? But obviously, they're not going to use it. Anyway.
I still think it's twins.
No, you don't.
He does. He's been saying that for ages. Do you really?
And you know I'm always right.
Yeah.
No. Last week he said no, it's a boy. It's a boy, very seriously.
I still think it's a boy. I still think it's a boy. But anyway,
what
David Beckham at the moment has been showing all his fatherly qualities. And has been teaching his young 4-year-old daughter how to ride a bicycle. And even to a point, you know, where he was pictured the other day and he's putting on the safety helmet and it's got the stabilizers on the bicycle and everything. And I should think it's every parent's dream and nightmare to actually watch their child finally cycle off, isn't it? And do the first wobbling steps. So his 4-year-old daughter Harper is learning to ride a bicycle. But apparently, she is the hardest one to work with in the entire family. Because his sons, that will wear exactly virtually the same clothes as he wears. But Harper in the mornings, he always has the problem with, because she always makes up her own mind what she's going to dress like. So she'll choose the colour, she'll choose the style, she'll choose the whole thing.
She's an individual.
She's independent.
Talking of you've just sort of kind of reminded me of something. I have to teach someone how to ride a bike, and I have no idea how to start. And this person happens to be my mum. She told me, I didn't know this. It's amazing the things that you kind of find out. But she was here visiting a few weeks ago. Okay. She told me she's never ridden a bike. I said, "You're joking?" She goes, "Oh, we should get a bike and go around Hyde Park." And I said, "I don't actually know how to teach someone how to ride a bike because I'm scared she's going to break something. I don't know if to put some stabilisers or something."
I don't think you'd find stabilisers on
not for the Hyde Park,
on
no.
an adult bike, but
I might try.
It's all confidence, isn't it? So
it is all confidence.
I just can't, because she's kind of clumsy at the best of times, and she kind of trips up and falls.
Once you get a rhythm, though, it's just balance,
Hyde Park would be a
I might have to invite you both to help me.
But
I don't mind. I help Mum.
You can film me.
I think you've got to be careful though, because most of the parks now don't allow cycling, do they?
No, you can around the outside, the perimeter.
Because where we are, St James's and Green Park, banned cycling.
No, they're doing Hyde Park, but you can't go right inside,
So,
that's where we need to go.
As a former cyclist, can't you see?
He hates any sports. He couldn't get him to do anything, really.
I used to, when I was 12, 13, I was a butcher's boy. I used to do my Saturday job, and I had the big butcher's bike. And the stories I could tell you about how to ride a bicycle with a butcher's bike, and every Christmas I'd have to sort of, I was like the Hovis advert, I swear to God. There were two, I used to work for the Co-op butchers, and there was one butcher in the valley and one right on the top of the hill, and I used to push these chickens.
To the olden days, and it sounds like you're in the 1820s or something.
As you can see, everybody, we've kind of gone off at a tangent again. We're not talking about the news anymore.
Liam Gallagher, Liam Gallagher, who's 42 now, still naughty boy. He has fathered a little baby girl with Lisa Gorbani. And I think
allegedly.
No, she has. And she's 22 months old. But he hasn't turned up to do with the maternity monies that he's got to pay, etc. And he's been naughty, saying he's stressed and ill.
Oh, please.
He can't manage it. And then he's seen in the pub with his present girlfriend. So he's been really avoiding things like that, which is not very mature.
It's just so ridiculous that you can sort of be mature enough to get someone pregnant and then not do your duty afterwards.
Yeah, so naughty. And at the same time, I actually saw him, I was at an event, and he was, I can't remember, it was a restaurant pub, which I won't mention, and he was outside and he had all these people around him, all these girls. So this depression and hardship that he's going through definitely is not true. Smiling away. And he's doing well, he's got a new clothing line, Pretty Green, which is very odd for him. Sort of pretty doesn't quite go, does it? And he's pushing it in America now.
Really?
So hopefully...
Just to push and help his child, I would say.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, these things will happen. And I felt very sorry for this young lady, Stephanie Roche, who came second this year in the Goal of the Year competition. It was by sheer chance that she's an Irish football player. Very glamorous as well. She really outshone all the other sort of male footballers, at this international award. But she did this incredible goal that was actually just filmed on someone's iPhone. And she got to second place in the world of the top goals in the world.
Was it just a fluke though? Was it talent, do you think?
No, I mean it was talent. It was pure talent.
In fact, did you feel sorry for her then?
Well, because she should have won. No, because and in fact even the pundits, all the professional pundits, thought her goal was probably the best technical goal they'd ever seen. And this is, the top professional players in the world, and they thought it's just because she was a woman. If it had been a man, she would have won it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's a tricky one, that, isn't it?
It's 1 minute left.
Jennifer Aniston. We love Jennifer Aniston, but she wants the press to lay off her about the Brad Pitt scenario. She was with him years and years ago. She's moved on. She wants the press to move on. We think if Justin Theroux, if they both get married, obviously, I think all
I don't
these
think it
rumours
will
and
ever
things.
stop.
It's never
I don't
It's
think
so
it will stop
naughty.
because the press love things like that, don't
They
they?
do.
Like about,
Paltrow
oh, you got dumped
says,
and...
Yeah,
she apparently was dating Brad Pitt as well, Gwyneth Paltrow, and she said he was the man that got away. She was 22 when she first met him and never recognised the values of Brad Pitt. I don't think Brad Pitt recognised the values of Brad Pitt at 22 either.
Yeah,
but,
most boys at that age, you know.
So I don't think you should, as I said, put anyone up on a pedestal anyway. So
But can I just one last thing? Jennifer Aniston, I didn't know that she was dyslexic. And she suffered from anger problems as well.
Really?
One of those things.
Okay, got to go. They're telling me they're having a go at me now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chrissy.
And we'll see you again next time.
You will.
Alrighty. Well, do stay tuned because after the break, we'll be speaking to our fitness expert, Jane Wrafter, on the difference between cardio exercise and weight training, and we'll also be hearing about who inspires you. I forgot to ask you that, but never mind, no time today. So do stay tuned.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, everyone. So as you know, we like to involve you guys at home. So we went out onto the streets to ask people who inspires them, and here's what they told us.
Who inspires me? Well, Richard Branson. Yeah, because he's done so much in his life, and some of the things he's done with Virgin, you know, the airlines, and with starting off with the recording, you know, the records and all that. He's done very well for himself, but I follow him on LinkedIn. You know, he's one of my influencers. I try and take a look at the way he looks at the world and pattern myself after that.
Well, I can say my wife.
And why is that?
Like she does everything for me, so she inspires me quite a lot. Why?
My inspiration or my role model is Mother Teresa.
Okay.
Yes, because of the life she lived. She didn't live for herself, but she lived for others. Service was her main motto in life. And she lived selflessly, helping the poor and the needy on the road, keeping her life and her wishes and her dreams behind.
My boyfriend inspires me. Every day he inspires me.
Any reason why?
Because he's so ambitious and he's really just out to like make the most of his life at the minute, and it's really inspiring me every day to do the same.
So we're going to introduce Jane now. Now, as you know, Jane does our regular fitness tips on the show, but she's here in person, which is great to have her back in the studio. Hello.
Hi, Chrissy.
How
nice
are you?
To see you. I'm really good, thanks. You're looking good.
Oh, thank you.
As always.
We won't go there. So, who inspires you, Jane, before we start?
Oh, so I didn't know she was going to ask me that. I have to say my husband, seeing as everyone else is saying their partners, he always inspires me. Yeah. Do you know, I've always liked Madonna. You know, for just her way of reinventing herself. Who else inspires me? Gosh, it's a hard question, isn't it?
When you don't sort of think about it, but there's quite a few people that influence us over the years.
Yes.
And with me, like, definitely my husband as well. But before I met him, I would say my mum.
Yeah,
just the way she is.
My mum too. Yeah.
Because I love my mum's sort of personality and her character, and how she doesn't gossip about people, and how she's very caring and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that I've always sort of taken that from her.
Yes.
And then my husband, who's very patient. We're kind of opposite in a lot of ways with my husband. He's kind of patient and he deals with things calmly. Yeah, definitely.
So true, isn't it?
But we're not here to talk about our husbands, are we?
No.
We're here to talk about cardio and weight training. And
yes.
Stuff. Okay.
So, you know, there's lots of different types of fitness, aren't there? So you can be fit in a very specific way and you can be unfit in another way. And it's really good to be aware of that. So, for example, if you're a keen runner, and you're very strong in your cardiovascular fitness, which means your heart and lung system, because your heart is a muscle like any other. So cardiovascular exercise strengthens your heart and makes it grow bigger. So fit people have a bigger heart than unfit people. But if you're a fit runner or you do your cardiovascular, you might be unfit in a different way. So you might really lack flexibility, for example. So a lot of runners get really tight in the hip flexors, the backs of the legs, the calves, lower back.
That's very interesting because you just assume, if you, especially for runners that look so great, you think they must be fit, just fit and not unfit in other areas.
I mean, they are fit in the crucial ways that save your life, you know, so they've got that cardiovascular fitness which protects the heart, but they might be really unsupple. They might also have poor posture. Unless they're really smart and they do Pilates, yoga and lots of stretching. So if you think about marathon runners, if you just picture marathon runners, a lot of them are like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they haven't got great muscle tone and their posture's like this.
That's true.
And you know, they're actually quite tight. And a lot of people who run or cycle a lot get kind of niggles around the Achilles or the feet or the knees, and it's all caused by tightness. Tight quads can cause knee problems. Tight calf muscles can cause problems in your Achilles tendon. So you really need to stretch and think about that. And the other element, of course, is core strength. Strength inside the deep abdominal muscles. So you can be a bodybuilder and do your back in with something innocuous if you've not got a strong core.
Gosh. Okay.
So it's worth thinking about the whole thing. And equally, you might be a yoga king or queen. You might be able to, you know, really bend backwards and touch the floor.
Like you.
I'm actually rubbish at back bending. I can go forward.
Yeah.
But, you know, ask them to run for a bus and they can do 10 yards and then they can't breathe.
Wow.
Because they're not strong in a cardiovascular
So is it better to do
sense.
like a bit of a combination of different things?
In an ideal world, you'd have a bit of everything.
Okay.
And some people get very fixated on their type of fitness, so they get hooked into whether it's Pilates or yoga or cardio or running, you know, whatever it is, and it makes them feel good. And of course, all these different things have their valid points, but you just need to be aware, you know, okay, I've been doing yoga for 10 years, but could I run up a hill if I had to? Could I do it? And vice versa.
Okay.
It's a bit like looking at your diet. You know, if you lived off apples and bananas, well, they're healthy foods, but you're lacking other things. It's exactly the same.
Okay. Now you're going to demonstrate some stuff for us today.
I've brought my weights.
All right, so shall we?
I thought I'd get you to do it.
Okay. Even I've got my big heels on today, but I'll try and balance. Okay, you go.
Yeah, well, we're going to be really still, so you're not going to move around, so you'll be all right in them.
Okay.
Okay, so these are 4 kilograms. Well, what weights are you working with at the moment, Chrissy?
6 at the moment.
6 kilograms. Fantastic. 6
But
kilograms.
it's
So
kettlebell.
it's 1.
It's not 2, yeah. So
it's like 3. So this is a little bit heavier. So just a technique thing, you know about pulling in your abs, you know, because your heels are a bit lifted, so you just need to be careful that you're not arching back. So
all flat on my face.
We do some bicep curls. So the advantage of working with weights is, for women, say you're a runner, you're not doing anything for your arms really, are you? You're going to have skinny little weak arms. So this gives you nice muscle tone here at the front of the arm, what you're doing there, with both arms. Can you feel that?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's quite heavy, actually.
They're quite heavy. Yeah, they're quite heavy. I thought I'd make you work tonight.
Thank you. It's already hot in the studio, and then I'm doing this as well.
You're going to pass out in a minute. But this is really good. And also, of course, as we know, working with weights for women develops bone density, not just muscle density. And that's really important to prevent osteoporosis.
Okay.
So we need to work with weights.
All right,
Do you
definitely.
want to try another one?
Yep.
Upright row for the shoulders. That's it. So can you feel this here?
Yeah.
Really good. So it's really good for women to work with weights. Do you know what I've brought as well, Chrissy? I brought my Dynabands. That are portable. I've talked about them before.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, good for holidays.
Really good for holidays. And if you just need something that's quick and easy, it's not, you know, you can't always transport 8 kilograms around with you in your handbag.
Yeah, it's true. These are too much, definitely.
So I'll show you what you can do with this. Might not work so well with your heels on. Well, there's one exercise you can do, and then I'll show you the other one. So if you wrap your hands around the band, the thing with these is they're called Dynabands, right? When you work with Dynabands, all your muscle knows is it's working against resistance. It doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know if it's a weights machine or a band. All it knows is that's harder than normal. So it has the same effect as weights.
And these are great as well because you can just put them away and hide them in your house.
Yeah.
No clutter.
No clutter. You can stick them in your suitcase.
Yes.
You know, you can stretch with them as well. They're really good for stretching. But in terms of strength, if you just pull the band to your chest, right, hold that there, and then squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Can you feel that in your shoulders?
That's actually quite hard.
I know, it is. It's good, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. I'm scared I'm going to...
I've never had one pop yet.
Don't say that, please. I don't want it to happen on the show first time.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
That's actually
good,
quite difficult. Yeah,
and
it's
look,
really good.
you can make it work. There's loads you can do with it. Watch this. If you just pop one foot on it, I don't want you to do yourself an injury, but look, if you pop your feet on it, you can do biceps.
Hold on a minute.
You could put one foot on it.
This is so graceful today, isn't it? All right, okay.
You might want to, you just maybe put one foot on it, Chris, and then it's going to loosen it up for you, and then you can maybe do that a bit easier. Yeah,
that is actually quite hard.
I know. It doesn't feel it's no easier than the weights, is it? No. And of course, you can make it harder.
I find that harder than the weights.
Do you?
There's more resistance,
isn't it? Yeah, you see, the thing is, when you bring weights down, it's easy, but here you've still got resistance on the way down as well as on the way up. So there's loads you can do. I love Dynabands. I use these a lot with people, with clients.
Your classes?
Yeah, definitely.
I kind of want to let go of it just to see what will happen, but I won't do that.
No, don't do that. You lose an eye.
All right, I think we've got a minute left. Any other ones you can show us?
I can show you how to stretch. You know, I was talking about runners and cyclists being really tight.
Yeah.
So if you, am I all right to lie down
you
on
can,
here? So if you take your Dynaband, this is the most amazing hamstring stretch you'll ever get. Like this.
Wow.
So I can really feel that here.
So bendy. Stop showing off.
Practice with the band. That's what it is. Lots of practice.
Yeah.
But here I can relax the shoulders, whereas if I do it like this, just
it's true. You kind of strain yourself, don't you?
Yeah, and I can't quite get it. And if you flex your foot, you get the calf stretch as well.
Oh, brilliant.
So it's really good to do that. But it's so important to think about balancing your fitness.
To do a bit of everything.
Stretch, core strength, flexibility, and cardiovascular fitness.
Wonderful. So Jane, it's been lovely having you in the studio with us again, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chrissy. Thank you.
All right, so do stay tuned, because after the break, Coach Chris Browne will be here to help us identify whether or not we're doing the right thing. And I'll also be answering a question from a viewer who's having a bit of trouble with her hormones. See you after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. So now we have Coach Chris Browne with us. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chrissy. Good show. It's going really well.
Who inspires you, Chris, before I continue?
Who inspires me? You know what? If I say from young age I had impressionable and survived through everything and took care of myself, my sisters as well, would have been my mum.
Yeah.
Right? Goes a lot further. There's a few other people that inspire me, but when I just flash back and I think of all the situation I went through and still made it through, brilliant. Yeah.
See, it doesn't have to be like, for example, someone that's achieved a great deal sort of in conventional ways, like business and stuff like that. Someone can inspire you in such small ways sometimes, and it's so significant. It's what you remember.
Well, that's what I really remember. I mean, there's many mentors and people I've met along the way that I could really just read a list of and say, this person inspired me, that inspired that, or even the work that I actually do that I could say, wow. But yeah, when I look back at growing up and everything, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I'm going to ask this question from a viewer, Chris, before. I don't know if you're going to be able to give any input on this, because it's about hormones.
Right.
So you probably won't want to answer. But anyway, let's see. This one's from Sandra, and she says, hi, Chrissy. I'm having a really hard time with my hormones before my period, and it seems to be getting worse as I get older. I get extremely tired and very irritable, and the smallest things make me so angry. It's now started to affect my relationship with my partner, as I easily get into arguments. I've booked an appointment to see my doctor already, but is there anything else you would advise, as it's starting to get me down? All right, so first of all, Sandra, it's really good that you have made an appointment with your doctor. You know, that obviously there are checks that you need to get done, and maybe it's just a case of adjusting your diet slightly. But I'm going to speak about your actual mind and attitude towards what you're going through. So, as you know, a lot of men go through hard times with their partners when they do have like PMT and like issues with their hormones. And the fact is, it's not your partner's fault, so he shouldn't have to kind of go through stuff because of what you're going through. If there's anything you can do to avoid it, it's best to do it. But the good thing is you have written in, and it is your issue that you need to deal with. Of course, he's there to support you, but you know, a lot of times I think women put men through quite a lot of unnecessary things, and it's not fair. So I would say try to change your attitude about the way you're thinking about the issue. So if you know, for example, there's a certain time of the month that you're going to get more irritable, you're going to kind of be snappy, I would just be more aware of that and be ready for it and not be kind of caught off guard. So what I do, for example, I think, was it a couple of months ago, I noticed that I was getting more irritable than normal. So what I did, I wrote myself a little note and I stuck it sort of where I could see it every day, and I put "watch out, hormones about." So every time I saw that, it kind of reminded me, okay, look, you're a bit vulnerable right now. Don't let little things get to you. You know, if your husband kind of says something that gets on your nerves, don't react, because, you know, you're not yourself right now. So that's what I did for myself, because I didn't want to take it out on my husband or be sort of snappy with people, because it's not their fault. It's something that, you know, I have to deal with. So I think just by kind of changing the way you're thinking about it and watching out for it, and say, no, you know what, I'm not gonna behave this way, I'm not gonna react this way, I'm gonna be in control of my emotions, I'm gonna be in control of how I speak to people. And you'll probably find that it's gonna be a lot better because you're conscious of it and you're thinking about it. And also, don't kind of give into it and sit around, for example, watching TV and like maybe not bothering to put your makeup on or looking nice. Take more showers if you have to, you know, make yourself look nice so you feel good. When you look good, you feel better about yourself. And just don't kind of sit in and give into it. And that would be my advice. But obviously do get your advice from your doctor as well. I hope that's helped you. And if you guys at home have a question for me, you can email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Chris, do you want to say anything about that?
Do you want to say? Yeah, I could say something about
How
that.
are your hormones?
Oh, they're running fine.
Yeah, right.
Last time I checked, they're fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Seriously, I mean, to be honest, you just mentioned about obviously at that period, that time, how your husband's going to react as well. So talking from a male perspective as well, it's not to react just because somebody else reacts.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to be able to step out, give space, a lot of space, a lot of space, and be able to, you know, understand people instead. So in that way, yeah.
Cool.
It's a time period, isn't it? Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris had to ask you, you know, you never know. All right, so what are we talking about?
We're actually talking about the sort of situation where people try to work out what they're supposed to be doing. Because sometimes we get stuck in a rut where we're doing something and it's not exactly what we wanted to do originally. So we end up doing the things that we thought, well, it's a good idea. Good idea at the time, but it actually has a bit of a bounce on it later on in life, you know. So what we're talking about here is, as I said, what you're supposed to be doing. Right? Now, when you think about it, many of us, we have great dreams, aspirations of things that we like to do. And some of us do actually hit those jobs that we actually want to reach. Unfortunately, it tends to be minority instead of majority, right? Which is very much so. And we've got the other half who's saying, I wish I could have done this. Or they're doing it, but it's not something that they want to do. There's either reasons behind it, either, let's say, misplaced desire. Right, that's one. Sort of, well, this is what I really want to achieve, but I can't seem to achieve it, so I'll do anything else to get there. And on that journey on the way, you end up doing a job or something else that you don't really want to do, and it becomes the bane of your life instead, getting up and doing it, because you haven't really worked out a plan towards that. Then you've got the other side as well. Somebody told you that this is what you should be doing. And it tends to come at a crucial time in your life where you're not really sorted in what you want to do, and somebody gives that advice to say, you should be doing this because how they see you. And you end up going along with this, partway through you're thinking, I don't really want to do this, right? And then you've got the other one as well, which is, not somebody told you what to do, just that crucial point in your life. The crucial point in your life to know when to move and when not to move. Now, these sort of things actually get you into that rut if you don't take time to actually work out what you're supposed to be doing. So what I'm going to do is go through a few pointers in actually being able to do that. And one of them, which is very important, is the choices that you make. Choices. Some of us make choices and we let our head rule instead of or our heart rule. So it's either fact or feelings, you know, fact or feelings. So let's take about making a decision with our heart. We make a decision with our heart because we felt good about it at the time, but the thing about it is your heart changes. You know, your mood changes. So later on, you've got back on another plane 2 weeks, 3 weeks after, and you think this is not what I want to do. So let's go about the facts, working with your head instead. Practical, working out really what you want to do. What's in there? What do I need to do to take this apart, to put it together, to make things happen? So it's either the fact or the feel. That's one, right? So that's about choices. The other one is innate potential. Work out what is your God-given gift that you've got inside of you that will help you along the way. Because once you understand that and you're using that to get where you need to get to, you're on a better road and a happier place already. But sometimes we don't understand, well, is that my gift? Is this what I've got? Is this what I'm naturally good at from a child? Because if you've been doing that thing and working with it and start studying it, working around it, how to build it, chances are you're going to be in a happier place in that sense, right? Now, my third one on there is, with those two, listing. I always say that, always say this. Get a piece of paper, once you work those two out, start listing them, writing them down so you find out exactly what you need to do. Once you actually see it on paper, it's more clear. There's clarity with it, instead of just in the mind. In the mind, many things float through and go out. So let's have some clarity with it, right? The other one is being practical. Being practical about what you're going to do and what you're going to do with it. Now, I go into this a bit more, but that's particularly on my site, which I was telling about before, right? If anybody actually want to look at that, which is coachchrisbrown.com, right? But being practical isn't just a matter of saying, well, this is what I'm going to get up and do. It's like 2 and 2 makes 4. We go through those other 3 already. We already narrowed it down. Lift it out of there, start doing something about it from there. Yeah. Work out what you're really supposed to be doing instead of doing it just because somebody said this is what you should be doing. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's really, really important. I remember having a job that I absolutely hated.
Right.
You know, when you kind of wake up and you just dread going to work, and that's how I felt. I mean, it wasn't their fault. I just sort of left uni. I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Right.
Because I'm the type of person that likes to do a lot of different kind of things.
Okay.
And I remember waking up every morning going, it was like an engineering company. I was the only woman there as well, and like it was just I just didn't like the environment. I didn't like the job. I was there, you know, when you're sort of there, so I'm thinking, what is the point of doing this job? And the salary wasn't. It was just the first job that I got when I left uni, and I wanted to work. I didn't want to be on benefits. I just did not accept to be on benefits. I wanted to work. So, and that's because my parents always taught me that. So it was just, the slightest thing, I'd be off sick. If I had a headache, I'd ring in. It was just miserable. Yeah. And sort of doing what I'm doing now, and sort of I know the way I feel when I wake up now, it's such a difference. And I think there's so many people that are just wasting their lives in things, doing things that they don't enjoy. And sometimes it's even the case, I don't know what I'm good at.
Right.
And they think it needs to be some really like big talent, and they have to be excellent at something, but sometimes it's just something in your personality that's the talent. It could be maybe you're a really friendly person and you're bubbly and you get along with people. Okay, you might not know what jobs are out there specifically for that kind of thing, but you can look it up, you can ask around.
That's it.
Okay, what kind of jobs need friendly people? What business, because if you want to have your own business, what business could I run that where my personality can shine? Well, so you need to really search for that.
Sorry, Kate, there, but there's something you actually said. You said you felt sick some of the time, right? And you physically were sick.
Yeah.
And that's part of that. It plays in the brain, don't want to be there, people get depressed. They do actually get sick from that. You know, it's very important to actually look at those areas. And the other one as well is you knew that you weren't supposed to be there.
Exactly.
You see, you knew it, you know, and that's what we're going to get to at that point.
Definitely. Right? Guys, do what you love. If you don't know what it is yet, search for it. You'll find it. All right, Chris, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
We have got such a special treat for you after the break. We have the lovely Emily Estelle, who has an amazing voice. So we're going to be interviewing her, and also she'll be performing Un Giorno Per Noi. I said it wrong, didn't I? Did I say? Never mind. You know what I mean? I'll get her to pronounce it for you properly after the break, okay? I'll see you after this.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, everyone, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Emily Estelle to the studio. Hello, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's lovely to have you here. Now, I heard you warming up earlier.
Did you?
And the viewers I have to say, the viewers are in for a treat.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they didn't have to hear the warming up and they just get to hear the final song.
Well, you're amazing. You have an amazing voice.
Thank you.
Tell us when it all started for you. Did you know you always wanted to sing from when you were
I think singing's always been something I wanted to do. I can remember when I was probably as young as about 5 years old, my parents used to be really heavily involved in a bit of dram, and they loved old time musical, and they actually used to be in one. And I can remember when I was little, I used to go to the rehearsals, I used to watch the shows, and I can remember just sitting there and thinking, that's what I want to do. I want to be the one on the stage. Yeah. So I think just from there, it's, you know.
Have you always done that? Did you ever have, because we were talking earlier about sort of having jobs and things that people don't enjoy. Did you ever go through that yourself? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, when you're at university, you have to do things to help yourself get through the whole thing. So, you know, I did bar work and I worked in shops, but I think it's good for everybody to do that because, you know, it helps you develop as a person anyway. Yeah. So.
But you always had your eyes fixed on
what I always knew that I wanted to do singing, and so yeah, that was just a side job to help me be able to do all my training. Really.
And then what did you do to sort of really get into it?
Well, when I was 13, I went to the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and then from there, I applied to go and do an undergrad course, and I got in at the Royal Northern College of Music. And so I finished there 2 years ago now, 2012, well, nearly 3 years ago. Yeah. That's scary. And so from there, I've just been trying to do everything that I can to promote myself, perform as much as possible.
Where have you performed? You've done a few, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done a few. I mean, obviously, you do the smaller things, so you could do corporate events, but some of the bigger things that I've done, I've sung at Wembley before I'm probably going to get it wrong now, the FA final playoffs or something like that, the League 1 and 2.
Some sporty stuff anyway.
Yeah,
the blokes will know. The blokes will
Exactly. I just go up and sing, and there's all these.
Just do your thing.
Yeah, there's all the men, you know, with their drinks and sitting there singing the national anthem with you, and you're thinking, oh wow.
What was it like doing that at Wembley then?
It was amazing. When you walk out on that pitch, and I can remember it was such a hot day, and I had a really long dress on, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to wear high heels because you're not allowed to on the floor. So I thought I'll just go out barefoot. And I literally got to the side of the pitch and they just went, oh my God, no, you need shoes, because the pitch was so hot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because it's literally like a fire trap. So I had to get someone to quickly run back, grab me a load of a flip-flop, shoved them on, and then went out with my lovely long dress and a pair of flip-flops underneath.
That's funny. So it must have been wonderful singing to so many people.
It was such an amazing atmosphere. Yeah. You're there and suddenly the music starts playing, you start singing, everybody else joins in, and it's an amazing atmosphere.
So what are you going to be singing for us today?
I'm going to do...
mention it. I don't know if I said it right.
Un Giorno Per Noi.
Why did you choose that particular one?
It's just a piece that I absolutely love. It's got so much emotion and passion in it. Yeah. And it's actually the love theme from Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. So it talks about their story of the hope that one day they'll be able to share their lives together.
Okay, so we're going to be hearing that in just a moment. What about your future plans? Where do you aim, where are you aiming for?
Well, my main goal is to hopefully get a record contract. Yeah. My own tours, which would be lovely, travel around the UK singing, hopefully, if it goes really well, a bit further and out into different countries. So it's going to take a lot of work, but it will be worth it in the end.
You're going to do it, I'm sure you've got an amazing voice.
Thank you.
Just before we go, because I'm going to wrap up the show in just a moment, tell us who inspired you, since we've asked the other guests. How about you?
I think it would have to be my parents, especially for me with the industry that I'm in. I know lots of other artists whose parents probably think it's not the best industry to get involved in because it's so hard. Yeah. But they've been so supportive. They come to everything that I do. They encourage me. They go to auditions with me, so it's great.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it's been great.
Brilliant. Okay, it's lovely meeting you.
Thank you.
And you. Your lovely voice in just a moment. Thank you. Alrighty, so guys, we have reached the end of today's programme. But if you want more information about any of our guests today, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. And also, if you'd like to email me, you can do so on chris@chrissybshow.tv. But now it's time to go over to Emily.
Un giorno sai, per noi verrò marci qui senza